Can he hear us?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yay, okay, we're good. Can you talk
now? Yeah, I haven't. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Talk.
Cool. Hi. Before I begin, my name is Nick Silcox. I don't know if the introductions were, so I'm an undergraduate senior at Ursinus College in Pennsylvania. It's a pleasure to be presenting my work with the rest of the critical animal studies community, and I would like to thank you for allowing me the opportunity. I'd like to first introduce my talk and give a quick briefing of what exactly I'm going to be discussing. This presentation is part of a larger project I'm working on for my senior thesis at Ursinus. This presentation, more or less, is the first half of that thesis that I'm working on. For the talk today, I'll be focusing on gathering a better understanding of what sanctuaries actually are, how they work, and their perspectives on the animals that they work with, using the websites of 4 sanctuary organizations. 2 of the organizations being incorporated to the presentation are the accrediting agencies of the American Sanctuary Association and the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries. These organizations do accreditations for all sanctuaries, not just farm sanctuaries, but their standards and criteria for sanctuaries will prove to be significant in the talk. Additionally, the websites of Farm Sanctuary, the famed Farm Sanctuary in New York and California, and Chinoa Manor Animal Sanctuary, a smaller sanctuary in Avondale, PA, nearby my school, will be important to this presentation. Okay, 1 second. Cool. Do you guys see it?
No.
Alright, so my project is called Farm Sanctuaries, the Future of Farm Animals. And so before delving into the specifics about how the sanctuaries understand the animals that they work with, clarity and specificity of what exactly sanctuaries are is necessary. We all have some understanding of what a farm sanctuary is, but it's important to define a sanctuary because that will allow us for more definitive understanding of the implications of the work that sanctuaries are engaging in. According to the Farm Sanctuary website, to protect farm animals from cruelty, inspire change in the way society views and treats farm animals, and promote compassionate vegan living. And a sanctuary is a place where animals can come to live and be protected for the rest of their lives. It's a safe haven where they receive the very best care possible, as defined by Farm Sanctuary. Some other definitions, one according to the American Sanctuary Association, animals are not bought, sold, bred, traded, used for commercial purposes, or mistreated in any way. They are given every opportunity to behave naturally in a wonderfully loving environment. And the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries lays out almost the exact same standards for sanctuaries, and therefore the ASA and GFAS have nearly the same conception of what a sanctuary is. Chinua Manor does not explicitly state any sort of definition of what it means to be a farm sanctuary, but they do call themselves a safe haven for abused animals, which is in line with the perception that the rest of the organizations take. From these definitions, we can start to construct a more definitive understanding of what a sanctuary actually is. They are spaces where farm animals come to be safe from the farming industry, and sanctuaries attempt to avoid exploitative behavior that happens in the farming, the exploitative behavior that happens in, like, outside of the sanctuary in dominant culture, creating a space that becomes seemingly animal-centric, allowing farm animals to live out their lives, being cared for and respected. To further evaluate exactly the implications of farm sanctuaries is necessary to understand what a farm animal is. Farm animal, not farm animals. Farm animal is a social categorization that comes with specific social expectations relative to civilization. According to Arnold Garland's zoological scale from the text regarding animals, society takes everything on a scale of worth, and systems of social control perpetuate those ratings. So he then goes on to use an example of a ladder. You could imagine a ladder where humans are at the top, and then pets, tools, vermin, and demons. All of these categories have different varying animals occupying them. In terms of farm animals, the center of this talk, they would fall into his tools category along the socio-zoologic scale. Furthermore, any system of categorization such as loops, or even the dominant understanding of various animals as pets, lab animals, farm animals, wild animals, etc., is culturally and historically specific. And we know this because any of the animals in any given category in our culture, the US culture or Western culture, could be categorized as something entirely different in another social setting. The most famous example of this is cows in India being revered as religious and spiritual creatures, while being one of the main sources of meat in the US. These categories are cultural and not inherently connected to the biology of the animals in the categories. Although the biology of the animals does influence the category that they are in, there's nothing inherent to the genetic makeup of, say, a cow that makes it a farm animal. There are biological traits that we as humans see as desirable to place in the category farm animal. Well, like I previously stated, every one of these categories that animals are placed in come with specific social expectations. So what do you think when you think of farm animals? And what are the expectations that the dominant culture has for those animals classified as farm animals? Animals that are designated farm animals are produced for human consumption. Farm implies a certain economic exchange in our culture, and the animals involved are caught in this economic relationship. Therefore, the social expectations for the category farm animal are that those animals will be produced for goods to be consumed by humans, food, clothes, and other things that aren't vegan, as we all know. This image of two cows, Oleander and Pappas, at Farm Sanctuary in Watkins Glen, New York. If a farm animal is, as I claim it is, a resource in the production of food and other goods for human consumption, are those animals on the sanctuary actually farm animals? Notice the space and amount of grass and the fact that they have names. The image and the fact that the cow's names suggest a certain level of care and a particular kind of atmosphere. Is Farm Sanctuary actually a farm? It would seem as though they are not, because there is no economic exchange, there's no profit for the sanctuary. In capitalism, any economic exchange would mean a for-profit situation, as is the case with farms. This is a picture